Hello everybody, this is Astocky here and welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. And in case you're wondering what I am doing right now, I don't know what just happened then. Oh, okay, that exited me out. Okay, I was hoping that I could zoom and spin things around. What I am looking to do is to try and set up this episode of Mission to Duna. 20 lots of debris, hey? Huh. That's cool, I didn't know I could do that. Can I select multiple? No. Well, this is something I did not know I could do. So any debris that's in orbit needs to be terminated, not recovered. Okay. That's fine. Not expecting to get much off most of this. Wow, there really is a lot of debris. Recover. Just ignore all these different things about stuff and things. Ooh, an extra 6.9 science. That must have been one of those mystery goos that snapped off and broke. So we got one flag left and then nothing else. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to wait. This is Kerbin. This is Duna. I need to wait till Duna gets in front of Kerbin, which really means I need to wait till Kerbin gets around behind Duna. But to get there, I can give myself a little bit of a help by launching my rocket first, so it's ready. So let's load up the previous rocket that I made, which was called Tester 4. It's a big rocket than I had originally planned on it being. You can see there's a couple of extra stages on the outside there. I'm pretty sure I've got all the tweaking done correctly now, because I had quite a number of issues in the testing off camera with things just basically not working. But this is now going to be called to Duna. Now the plan is that I can recover this. I'm yet to see if that's going to actually be the case, but we will launch things and we will see how we go. I'm super confident stuffing around that this episode something good is going to happen. Having said that though, let's go back to revert flight to the VAB, because even though I'm not that confident, because I forgot to put aerodynamic fins on it. So we're going to throw a bunch of those on. And I'm feeling more confident now. So save this bottom chunk as an assembly, as a bit of a heavy lift assembly, because okay, that is better. No wonder it was giving me some weird problems. My mouse has a little mode button you can click on it, which changes the right mouse button from a right mouse button to something weird. But whoa, loud. Fix that. This thing has a lot of thrust, so you can see we're really quickly accelerating. The way I pretty much work the speed is terminal velocity is 100 plus your number of 1,000 meters times 10. So that'd be 110 at 1,000, 120 at 2,000, etc, etc, etc. Up until you get about 10,000 where you can really just go as fast as you want. So even though I should be accelerating faster now, it seems like I'm not. And I can't be sure why that is. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is I'm going quite quickly. I'm getting up not to 130 yet, so I can keep accelerating. And now I will ditch this stage. Drop that off. 7 engines doing their thing, so we're losing a little bit of speed, but not too much overall. It's pretty good. Quite a bit of rotation happening though, which I don't like. But you can see heaps of fuel left, and we're already up to nearly 10 Ks. And we're starting to accelerate again, which is the sign that we really want. The apoapsis is not very high at the moment, but once again we're building speed. And we could be doing 180 at this point, but we're not, so I'm just going to let it keep accelerating itself out and see what happens. The center engine is about to burn out. I think that's how it's working. The center engine is going to burn out. So I think I messed up the fuel transfer, but that doesn't even matter. I mean, we're getting so light now. We've got plenty of acceleration. We really should be tipping ourselves over. So I'm going to start to see if I can wiggle this thing that's on its way down. Try and see if I can get it to hold it there. The spinning is really quite annoying. I don't like it. But short of adding some more fins, I don't know that there's anything I can do about it. See, we're pretty much punching above our weight at the moment, really pushing ourselves off into a good orbit. Heaps of fuel left. Got 6 engines burning at about, half fuel tanks. Then got these 5 quite large engines in the center here that are going to fire, which when we're not fighting gravity will really help. I'm going to push this up to around about 100. Or at least that's the plan. Spinning like a bottle top at the moment. But this is a reasonably good heavy lift stage. And I've done some rough figures and worked out that I have no idea how to calculate delta V without using Kerbal Engineer. And so because of that, my intention is to not do anything with regards to calculating delta V's, and I'm just going to wing it. But be confident. Be confident that I don't know what I'm doing. That's pretty much all there is to it. How did that get so far off track? Come on, get back there. How we doing? Whoops. That was not the right button. Okay, so we burn those engines out. Detach them. Fire those off a bit. Stop this thing rotating. This is just ridiculous now. There you go. 88 is going to be just fine. I'm going to use the torque that we have in the capsule, which is not very much, but we'll use what we've got and try and see if we can stop this thing rotating. See, it's really slowly slowing down. Got plenty of electric charge. Come on. Now, how long have I got? 2 minutes before I hit apoapsis, and you can see it's a fairly wide apoapsis as well, which is good. Probably should have added some form of reaction wheel in here. I'm also trying to strictly keep this to be a 30-minute episode. So what that is going to mean is that I'm not going to get all the way to Duna this episode. Hopefully, track the gear. Hopefully I can get fairly close and get myself well on the way there before this episode is out. But again, we want to put Kerbin, we want to make Duna at 12 o'clock and then make Kerbin about kind of halfway in between that and 3 o'clock, so kind of about a 45-degree angle. There's a lot of really complicated calculations you can do to work these types of things out, but I don't know them. And again, I can't really be asked. Oops. Starting to get close to the apoapsis now, so let's see if we can get some control back by burning the engine a little bit. Let's watch this burn out. I think I'm going to be able to cope with the fact that I'm a little bit off center. And huge amounts of fuel left, which is why this should be such a good rocket to get me where I'm going. Periapsis is coming up. Things are twisting around, and bam! What do we got? 101 by 84. You know what? I can totally live with that. Let's turn all the settings off. Let's zoom out. And let's just accelerate time and see what happens. Can't go greater than 50 times, hey? That is going to cause me some problems. So what that means is I'm going to have to bring myself up to a higher altitude. Alternate. I have an alternate. Let's go back to the Space Center. So now we're going to load. Going to load my first initial little test ship. We're going to launch this. And I believe at this point I should be able to just accelerate time like crazy because it's not moving. There we go. That's the good stuff. So I think it's going to take a better part of a Kerbal year to get me back around to the point where this is in the right spot. While it's doing this, this thing is just going to be going whoa, 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 whoa. It's just going crazy. None of that matters though because it's in a good orbit. So I was just past Duna, which is about the worst position you can be in to get this thing started. I wish I had some extra ability to accelerate, but not a problem. We will just wait a minute or two. You can see it's already catching up. I mean, it's going to be at the 6 o'clock position fairly soon. So, you know, we're coming round. I was considering actually going to Eve, because Eve moves quite a bit quicker, so it's kind of easy to get in position. But to be honest, I know there's no chance of me getting back from Eve, and I also really, really struggle to actually get Eve to be something that makes sense, because I've never flown there before, not even in practice. So I do most of the stuff for the first time on camera. And I intend to go to Eve for the first time on camera, but I want to do Duna, which is something I have done once before, and see if we can get it to work. I don't know if I'm going to, bump into Ike or what's going to happen. Okay, so we are coming up quite rapidly on it now. So again, we're looking for 12 o'clock and about a 1:30. Again, it's all very, very rough because measuring phase angles is not something that I find exciting. I'm going to call that good enough there. So what we're going to do now is we are going to recover that vessel, and then we're going to load the other vessel. So we're going to fly this bad boy. And the other thing I don't know is exactly at what point it is that I'm supposed to do the ejection to leave Kerbin. What I typically try to do is I try to do the ejection at about the opposite point, like that. So that as I'm popping out, you can see I'm kind of accelerating in an outward sort of direction, pretty much in the direction of the orbit. Now we just pull it out a little bit till we have a touch. We set Duna as the target, and then we just kind of have to do that, and then just kind of do a little bit of an acceleration and deceleration type thing, and we'll see how we go. So the target is going to be there, I'm going to be there, so I'm going to miss it just fractionally. So it doesn't appear like it's getting any closer doing it that way. If we slow down a bit, yeah, then we don't quite make it at all. So there's definitely going to need to be something to tweak the orbit, and it could be the ejection point. So move that around a little bit and see if that helped. Not as much as I was hoping for. That's pretty close. You know what? I'm going to live with that. That is going to be my burn. So what kind of burn are we looking at? 1,000 meters per second. That's quite a lot of delta V, but definitely not unheard of. We've got 28 minutes until we need to do it. Well, it's definitely turning, so that's got to be a good thing. Ah, that's what happens. As soon as you start to accelerate time, it stops spinning. Okay, so this has been 18 minutes so far. Hopefully I can at least get this burn done. Come on. I think it's saying burn not applicable because I don't have 1,000 meters per second of delta V left in this engine. So I'm just going to zip myself back around. You know what, the other thing I've just thought of, and it might be worth doing here, although I'm not totally sure, is I should be able to, so that's minus 0.1, if we go, so it's now minus 0.1 still. Whoops. That clearly didn't work for me. Closest approach 916, 787, 796. So I'm just going to run with that now. It actually reduced the delta V slightly, which has got to be a good thing. Okay. I haven't been paying attention to what's been going on, so let's try and now hold that point and burn like crazy. We definitely don't want to accelerate too much. I'm pretty sure we're going to run out of fuel anyway before we get there. So we'll just see how that goes. 890 to go. And we can tweak our orbit once we're on the way and make sure that it matches up better. Now I may very well have started burning too early. Burning too early is probably most problematic. Uh-oh, what just happened? Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh no. I just burned the PE back into the atmosphere. That's gonna get ugly. That is gonna get really ugly. That was bad planning. Coming back up now, it would seem we haven't lost too much speed. Really should have actually paid attention to where I was in my orbit. See, I'm supposed to be burning from up here, not from down here. So that's gonna cause some issues for me. It's gonna totally throw off my calculations, but let's burn like crazy and see if we can't get out of there. We've got much more fuel efficient engines now, but they have a lot less thrust. So it's going to take a lot longer for this to expand out. But if everything goes well, these should just keep burning for ages, and we should end up in much the same spot. I'm actually going to double time the burn there. You can do that with Alt and the period key or the full stop. And once I get it down to a low enough level, once I've broken this orbit out, see it's going out, it's going out, going out, going out. Go back to 1 time speed. And then what I'm going to do at this point is once I get down to about 20 meters per second left, I'm going to start going for just burning in this direction for real, and I'm going to see how it ends up. Okay, so we now want to throw out that maneuver node, gone, and see where we're actually going to end up. So we're actually making the closest approach further away by burning in that direction. Check again, yep, definitely making the closest approach further away. And that's because the nodes are minus 0.2. So what we're going to do now is basically just going to run it out until we get outside of the curve and sphere of influence. Lucky I didn't pick up Minimus then. Okay, so now we're going to how have I not got a path? So we're going to see if we can add a maneuver node now. Descending node 0.2. Now we're burning in the right direction. It's getting closer, getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. We have an encounter. What's the encounter now? 39. $33. 24. 20. 16. 18. 15 it is. So that burn is going to happen in 3 hours. So we're going to speed things up a little bit as we head towards that. Then I'm going to give myself a couple of minutes out and then kick the engines in. 25 minutes is a few more minutes than I had planned. There you go, 13 minutes out. Let's now work which way we have to turn this thing. It's still very, very, very heavy to turn. But luckily we have heaps of time, heaps of power, all that good sort of stuff. I'm wondering if it's going to be like right up the top up here somewhere. There it is, I can see it coming. Estimated burn time's only 1:26 though at full throttle, so that's not going to be too bad. So we will go... Bam, computer controls on. Give it a chance now to see if it can actually bring it back and stabilize it. And then once it does, we'll accelerate time. Got about 2 minutes left. You're not helping, silly thing. It's like it's fighting itself. Okay, there we go. Five, four, three, two, one. So we want to go to about 45 seconds and then start the burn. So this should be going beautifully now as we're burning. Now, what did I use, 1,000 before plus 1,100? You know, this isn't really too bad in terms of how much fuel I'm using. You can see heaps of fuel left in the tanks. So capturing orbit shouldn't be too difficult either. Meters per second to go. Now again, I'm going to cut it off at about 20 meters per second to go, and then I'm just going to nudge it gently once I've removed the maneuver node. So my current PE is 39, so we're going to give that a bit of a boost in this direction, 37, and we'll just keep watching until it starts counting back up, and then we'll press X. It's a gentle kiss. Seeing what kind of orbit we can get. Remember, I got it to 15 in the plan. See if I can get any lower. See, doing lower, doing better. This is why you always just give it just a manual little touch at the end. There we go. Just started to go back up. So, we'll run this around. That's 31 minutes already. But we are going to bring it till we're just outside of the orbit. And once we're just outside, I will go tappa 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 and then call an end of the episode. So we're on our way, people. Still don't like the fact that descending node's not lined up, but we are definitely in a capture orbit here, so that's brilliant. It's going to be a really good grab on this orbit too, getting in that close. So its speed is 7.6, our speed's 7. So, please stay tuned for the next episode. I hope you guys are looking forward to watching me conduct my first successful landing on Duna. Until next time, again, thanks so much for watching. Astocky out.